guys? It's me exactly. A lot happened in the NBA yesterday, so let's not waste any time. Let's just get into talking about everything that did go down. Lego. I was originally gonna talk about all the stuff that came out about the Cleveland Cavaliers first in this video, but I just couldn't wait to talk about this right here. That being said, I don't even know what there is to say. Like, is there anything left to say? Can we just put these two teams back in the court and let them settle this right now? Refs, y'all can have this game off and everything. You guys won't be needed. Just let these two teams go out on the court and settle this. You guys remember a few years ago when the Clippers and Warriors were rivals? Every time they would play in the regular season, something went down. There was a genuine hate between those two teams, and since then there hasn't been anything like that in the NBA. Sure, you had the thing with the Boston Celtics and the Washington Wizards from last year, then you have the Thunder and the Warriors, but both of those rivalries pale in comparison to the one that was just born yesterday. Chris Paul got a warm welcome back from the Los Angeles Clippers. They made a video about him and everything, which is kind of weird. I mean, the man chose to leave you, and after he left you, it's not like y'all were on good terms. He had nothing positive to say about the Clippers as an organization ever since he left. So I thought it was really strange that they would dedicate a video to him like they did. The Pacers didn't even make a video for Paul George, and Paul George took the Pacers further in the playoffs than Chris Paul ever took the Clippers. So that happened, and then the actual game itself happened, and things didn't get any less awkward from there. Blake Griffin was trying to go at the Rockets all night long. Let's just put it like that. You could tell that he was trying to pick a fight with everyone wearing a red and black jersey. And as the game went on, there were a lot of cheap shots being thrown from Clippers and Rockets players. Extra contact after possession. I mean, the refs have been handing out technicals and ejecting players like crazy this year, and yet yesterday players in this game were able to get away with a lot more, it seems, which I'm not complaining about. I'm happy they did, but I'm just saying. I mean, Griffin was getting hammered in the paint. Griffin was elbowing guys, chucking balls at full force off guys' back. Like, he cocked back, aimed and everything. Most of the time when players do try and save it off another guy, they will try and throw the ball lower, like at the legs or the ankles. It seemed like Griffin was thinking about chucking it at the back of Eric Gordon's head. Mike D'Antoni and Blake Griffin got into it. D'Antoni saying after the game that Blake Griffin elbowed him so he wasn't going to have it, and Chris Paul came to the defense of his coach. There was just so much that went on in this game yesterday, and it resulted in both Blake Griffin and Trevor Ariza eventually getting ejected when the game was pretty much over. And after the Clippers won the game 113 to 102 behind Lou Williams and his 31 points, as well as Blake Griffin and his 29 points, that's when things started to get really interesting. As James Harden, Chris Paul, Trevor Ariza, and Gerald Green snuck into the back of the Clippers locker room, they used the man Clint Capella as a decoy. They told Clint Capella, yo, go knock on the door in the front. But while that's happening, we sneak into the back and we confront Blake Griffin and Austin Rivers because those guys were supposedly talking a lot of trash and the Rockets players weren't happy about it. But pretty much as soon as they got into the locker room, they were escorted out. The police were even called, and now the NBA is going to run a full investigation. I'm sure there will be fines handed out, maybe even suspensions. February 28th, that is the next time these two teams play, and it is a must-watch game because I guarantee that neither of these teams will forget what happened last night. This is exactly why Kyrie Irving left me. This is why right here. He was sick and tired of all the drama in Cleveland. He's with the Boston Celtics now, still a great team, the best team in the Eastern Conference, and yet you don't hear anything about this coming out about the Boston Celtics. There is no off-the-court drama. Whereas with the Cavs, it seems like every single day there is a new story regarding the dysfunction that is going on there. And I guess while I'm sharing this, I might as well get to the game that happened last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers with the Golden State Warriors. Look, all you really need to see is the highlights from that game because I think most people already knew what the outcome was going to be. The Warriors won. The Cavs played their hearts out like they were really trying out there, and it was a close game up until the fourth quarter when the Warriors started to pull away, and that was probably because the Cavs had to try so hard for like the first 3.5 quarters that they were just gassed after that, while the Warriors, on the other hand, since they have so much talent, they were able to keep playing at the same level. 118 119 to 108 the final score. KD with 32, Curry with 23 points, 9 assists, Draymond with 11 points, 16 rebounds, 9 assists, while only LeBron played well for the Cavs with 32 points of his own. Anyways though, after the game, report after report started coming out about the Cleveland Cavaliers, saying the Cavs players acknowledged growing discontent, concern about the state of the team, players starting to doubt that they can ever get it together and win a championship this year. And another article also came out saying the Cavs will for sure make a trade before the trade deadline, but hold up, they still don't want to trade the pick. So more than likely, any trade they make that doesn't involve that pick won't be that big of a trade and won't come close to closing the gap that still remains between them and the Warriors. But that's it. That's everything that came out about the Cavs yesterday. And after everything else that has already come out this week, I do believe the reports that came out yesterday about the Cavs players being concerned and starting to doubt the fact that they have a chance to win a championship this year. There were reports that players were upset with LeBron for stat chasing just a couple of days ago. They have been losing game after game, getting blown out. And it's not just even that they've been losing games, it's every time that the Cavs play one of the more elite teams in the NBA, they lose. Just look at the Cavs record against the better teams in the NBA so far this year. They're 0-2 against Golden State now, lost their only game so far against Houston, Minnesota, and Toronto. They are 1-1 against the Celtics, but that one win was back on the season opener and before the Celtics started playing like the team they are now. And even then, it was a game that went down to the last shot. Take all of that into account, and yes, I can for sure see why some of the Cavs players will feel how they are feeling right now. Things got a little chippy in this game as well. Not on the same level as the Rockets and the Clippers game, but Kyle Lowry and Ben Simmons were getting under each other's skin. This was the 4th time already these two teams have played each other this year, so some of it could have had to do with just being sick of the other guys' faces. In the actual game itself, the Sixers built a big lead, however they almost lost it, but in the end they hung on to get the 117 to 111 win. Joel Embiid with 34 points and 11 rebounds, while TJ McConnell was great off the bench with 18 points and 8 assists. With under 10 seconds left to go in the game though, Ben Simmons and Kyle Lowry exchanged some words and both got ejected. And then Ben Simmons told Kyle Lowry to meet him in the hallway after the game, and Lowry was all for it. Security just wasn't going to let that happen though. What was up with yesterday? Guys getting ejected in the Sixers Raptors game, the Clippers Rockets game, and Russell Westbrook was ejected as well. There was no bad blood between any players in this game, but just between players and refs. Late in the 4th quarter, on a drive to the basket, Westbrook thought that he had been fouled, but instead was called for a travel. To his defense, there was a lot of contact there, so a foul could have been called, and he let the refs know it and got tossed from the game for doing so. It was the refs on another power trip, man, because after Westbrook was ejected, another official whistled Billy Donovan for a tech for wondering why Westbrook just got tossed, which led to Carmelo Anthony saying after the game that he is done with the refs.
Quickly pull the trigger.
Yeah, I'm done with them. I'm done with the refs.
Talk about how special it was.
Not to I'm done with those refs.
Being done with the refs, not quite sure how you can do that, but hey, more power to you, Melo. The Knicks beat the Nets yesterday 119 to 104. Porzingis with 26 points and Michael Beasley had 23 points and 10 rebounds off the bench, and D'Angelo Russell, even though he wasn't suited up to play for Brooklyn last night, he still got a tech. The refs teed the man up for clapping on the bench. This is one of the most ridiculous techs that I have seen since like Tim Duncan got one for smiling years ago. Giannis Antetokounmpo has done a lot statistically already in his career. However, one thing that he hadn't done until last night though was record a 20-20 game, but that finally happened. Maybe I shouldn't say finally because it makes it seem like he's been trying to do it for a long time. 27 points, 20 rebounds, and 6 assists for Giannis yesterday as the Bucks get the 104 to 95 win over the Wizards. Domination. That's the simplest way to put it. Giannis dominated. Zach LaVine is going to be really, really good for Chicago. I don't want to get hung up on his first 2 games back because Isaiah Thomas also looked really good in his first 2 games for the Cavs. He is still going to need more time before he's at 100%, but he has shown glimpses already that he is going to be great. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and only 20 minutes of action for LaVine. I'm telling y'all that he is going to be a star. Bulls win 119 to 111 over the Heat as Tyler Johnson had to be wheeled off the court and was later diagnosed with a sprained ankle, so he is going to miss some time. My Pistons got destroyed by Dwight Howard yesterday, so yeah, that happened. Howard was unstoppable and the Hornets were able to pull away late to claim the 118 to 106-107 win. D12 had 21 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 blocks, while Kemba Walker added 20 points and 9 assists. Even with Kawhi Leonard sitting out this one due to rest, I don't think anyone thought the Hawks would actually beat the Spurs, but they did, 102-99, as Dennis Schroeder hit a tough driving layup to seal the game right after Danny Green had nailed a tough 3 to keep the Spurs in the game. Schroeder with a pretty solid game too, 26 points and 7 assists. Victor Oladipo and Donovan Mitchell, two of the more pleasant surprises of the NBA season so far, squared off yesterday, and both of the players played pretty well. Mitchell with 23 points, but the Pacers are just the better team as they got the easy 109-94 win thanks to Depot and his 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Lonzo and Ingram both missed this game, so not even red hot KCP from beyond the arc was enough for the Lakers to beat the Grizzlies. The Lakers' winning streak has been snapped at 4, 123-114. Tyreek Evans with 15 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. There was all the action from yesterday, though. Don't forget to go vote for the player of the day. Just remember that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday you guys selected Anthony Davis and his 47 points, 17 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 blocks as your player of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to smack that like button if you enjoyed the video, as well as subscribe to the channel to join the quest to 200K and hashtag a million year end to stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. But until tomorrow, keep getting the Bucks, Team STC, and I'm out of here. Peace!